Alright, time to get my fucking weeb shit on. We're going to be talking about anime and manga. I know that that's a weird thing that I have to keep doing, but anime and manga are like the same form of entertainment in my eyes. And I know that one's animated and one's fucking paper, book, whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Some people watch it online, some people read the manga. To me, I don't care if you're watching anime. I don't care if you're reading manga. It's kind of the same medium for me. And if you think that, oh, but, you know, one has animation and one's just static book or static paper, you're a fucking genius. Thank you. I had never thought of that. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about that. Now, in some of these videos, I've been using a strange, dumb scale of a 1 to 10 to just indicate to the viewer where I personally feel I am at as of right now in my anime pilgrimage. And I would say that out of 10, I feel that when it comes to anime, I am a solid 6 to a 7. 6 to a 7, I'm going to go with 6. And that's because even though I know about thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of anime, I just don't sit down and watch it. I will be like, cool, one episode, let's fucking do this. Never again. And I have missed out on so many great animes because of that, and I've been really forcing myself to go back and check out some of the ones that I had on hold for a while. Just because I was like, I want to see what I'm missing. Now, favorite anime of all time. This is a fuck. Because there is so much anime, and the only real unifying factor of it is, hey, it's animation from Japan. There can be stories that are completely, wildly different. Like, can you imagine if someone's like, hey, what's your favorite movie ever out of all of them? And you're like, well, there's a lot of movies out there. And they're like, no, just one. Because there is so many different stories in anime. And while there are different stories in video games and other forms of media, and it's just like, once you have accumulated such a big knowledge of, or at least you know about so many and you've seen so many, it's really hard to narrow it down. And if you saw my video game, one of these, then you would notice that I had trouble doing it there. So I'm just going to do what I did in that video game, and that is find the cheapskate loophole out of this, which is to say, I've got a couple, and I'll tell you what they are for different reasons. My first introduction into anime came through in the same way that most people did, and that is early morning cartoons. So we had cartoons back home in Australia, and it was on Cheese TV, and one of those that was, I didn't even know it was anime because it was labeled as the cartoon block, was Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and GT and fuck Super for the moment. But Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, let's just say the Dragon Ball franchise, that is so near and dear to my heart that I grew up and I was watching Goku grow up, and it's just one of those amazing, beautiful stories where you get to see everything about it, and you get to meet all these great characters, and they become like friends to you. You enjoy seeing them. You enjoy seeing them take on new situations. There is so much I could tell you about Dragon Ball. There's so much I could tell you about Dragon Ball Z and GT and why I don't like Super as of right now. So that is fucking January 1st, 2017. But, you know, we'll see what happens in the future. I'm more than willing to say that I was wrong if it turns out to be great. But you don't adapt, two movies into two fucking series and go, oh man. I'm not gonna, okay, fuck it, I'm not gonna do that. So the next one up is Fist of the North Star. So Fist of the North Star is... Okay, so have you ever experienced, and this might be a bloke thing, I'm not sure if ladies have a similar effect, but you just want to see some cool shit that you're just like, it might just be the whole testosterone fueled thing, but do you ever just want to watch some cool shit? Do you go to a action movie? Like, I can guarantee you right now, I'm going to Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. That is a fucking stupid movie. It's gonna be dumb. Like, I am paying to go and see some cool shit happen in a really action-orientated way. And that is Fist of the North Star in a nutshell. Do you want to see some fucking cool shit? Right this way, sir. Do you want to see some fucking gory, badass, amazing, post-apocalyptic, teary-eyed anime? Same door, sir. Fist of the North Star has everything. Every fucking character is likable except for maybe one, the nameless Shura. But if you're just like, name some characters you like: Kenshiro, Bat, Rin, Shin, Rei, Toki. Ryan's favourite is Jagi, and I like Jagi too. Well, Ryan likes a couple, but Jagi is what he's known for because it's quite controversial. Rao is cool. Fucking Salza's cool. Fucking Shu is cool. Even Yuda's cool. Everyone in that entire series is cool. Fucking Han is cool. Shachi is cool. Kaio is fucking badass. Everyone in that series is awesome. Falco has the fucking coolest scene. I was going to spoil something. He has one of the coolest fucking scenes in the entire show. It involves the song Kill the Fight. That's fucking super memorable to me. Trigun. Berserk, the anime. Berserk the manga is fucking probably one of the best mangas of all time, but until it finishes and until it stops being so slow, I have a little bit of a grudge against it. Trigun's fucking amazing though. Blade of the Immortal is so underrated. Like, Blade of the Immortal, the anime series is great, the manga is fucking phenomenal. Just read it. Like, honestly, I see too few people talking about it. And I frequent anime boards quite a bit, and for whatever reason, it's just rarely mentioned. Do yourself a favor. If you like, the Berserk kind of story, like and don't go in expecting, like, just Berserk. Go into it expecting a amazing story of a samurai immortal and a lot of cool shit with amazing artwork. That's what I will tell you about that series. In terms of comedy, Cromartie is great. In terms of, just like thinking about them, obviously there's like Cowboy Bebop, which is quintessentially considered the best dub of most animes. Which comes to another topic. As of right now, when people say, do you prefer dubs or subs? And this is like the oldest fucking talk in the book, or the oldest debate, sorry. It's been around since as long as I can remember. Do you watch dubs or do you watch subs? I'm fine with either. And that's because there was a time, young children, where you only had the anime that you could find on television. And that anime was mainly done in English. If you wanted to watch anime, your only choices would be like, okay, well, I've got Dragon Ball Z, I've got Sailor Moon, I've got Ghost in the Shell, I've got Akira, I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. But, those were the ones that I remember most. Like, of course you had like your Beyblades and your Pokemon and all that sort of stuff and your Yu-Gi-Oh. But like, if you wanted to watch anime, you had to watch it dubbed. There was no other way. Like, some of the older people out there might remember trying to fucking get subs of new Dragon Ball episodes on like dial-up internet, and God bless you. I mean, like, that is some of the fucking... I remember, like, there was a time where anime wasn't so prevalent, and I feel like Naruto helped expand that. Like, when Naruto and Bleach and One Piece, they all surged in popularity at the same time in the West. That's when fan subbing became a real big thing, because before then you really just had to know someone or import a DVD that had fucking shitty Malaysian subs. Like, there have been so many copies of stuff, because I used to, well, I was born in Malaysia, and my father would frequent and go back and forth from Malaysia, and he would bring back a lot of movies. Now, the legality of some of those movies, I'm not exactly sure, because some of them would be filled with a handy cam in a cinema, and there would be things like TV shows, like anime, and they would have the worst English subtitles you'd ever imagine. And I swear, some of my horrible anime tics, like, there's this one anime tic where I say, if I can remember it, I will. If it takes too long, I will just, splice it in when I do remember here. So that's how it is. It might be, or it's something along those lines. Where, oh, I see now, or but anyway, there are some times, because of how much anime I've seen, that I will actually say something that sounds like a horrible anime line, and I realize that, and I hate myself every day for it. The term weeb gets thrown around a lot. Not exactly a flattering term. I would have to begrudgingly admit, by how much I do like the medium, that there would be sufficient cause to maybe consider, if someone called me a weeb, I'd have to be like, not 100% wrong. Of course I wouldn't like it, but, sometimes you just have to wear the shoes if they fit you. But no, those are some of my favorite animes of all time. Hunter x Hunter's great. But yeah, it's between Fist of the North Star and Dragon Ball as just a collective. And Ghost in the Shell, because Ghost in the Shell was like the first thinking man's anime that I ever experienced. So that will always be... It was just such a amazing thing to watch, because I want you to think about, young teenage me that's just been watching all these people be like, no, I will defeat you, ba 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 ba, and, all that kind of stuff with, no, you can't defeat me, I am power level 20 million, and all that kind of contrived dialogue. And then all of a sudden to have someone come along and just be like, yes, what is the concept of the human soul? What is the concept of what it is to be human? And I'm just like, well, that's a bit different from power. I know I'm explaining this horribly, but okay, so at this point, if any of you watch any of the others in this series that I'm making, I am well past tired, and I've made a commitment to like finish these. So anyway, powering on. Fist of the North Star, Dragon Ball Z, Ghost in the Shell. Those are them. Worst anime, I've seen a lot. I think the worst thing with anime is that it has such a stigma, because there is so much fucking fan service and just outright hentai and questionable ethics in the West that might not be so questionable in Japan. But it's because of that stigma, it's really hard to be like, hey, I'm a fan of anime. Because then, much like it's different. I'm going to use the same comparison. Like if I go, hey, I'm a fan of movies, they'll be like, oh, which movies do you like? Do you like these? I'm like horror, or do you like, dramas, or what do you like? Pop up. But the minute that someone says, hey, I'm a fan of anime, someone thinks, fucking pervert over here, like gets off to them weeb cartoons. So it's just this weird stigma that it still has in society, or at least as of right now. I would love to see that change. I would love to see it grow as an art medium, and I'd love to see the culture around it change a little bit different. But fan service sells, and as long as that continues to be the main driving force of the market, I don't see that changing too much. Not that there's anything wrong with some fan service, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna fucking no, I'm gonna keep that in. That was creepy, and that deserves to stay in. Alright, so I've seen thousands of anime. What would I like to see going forward from the 1st of January 2017? I would like to see myself finishing more anime. I would like to see myself go back and way back. Because even though I watch like a lot of old stuff, like I watch early Tatsunoko shows, Hakushon Daimyo, Timebokan, Gatchaman, all that sort of stuff. Even though I watch all of those earlier shows, I still haven't seen like the earliest Astro Boy, and I would love to be able to sit down and watch that. I would love to just get more involved with all the histories, and I would love to try and go forward into the future with greater knowledge about anime directors. Like, with the exception of a couple, I can't really say, hey, this guy's done this and this guy's done that, or who was really responsible for the key animations here and that. I would love to be more familiar with the personnel of the anime industry. And just, even though I can tell you studios and be like, studios like Shaft, God tier, Production IG, God tier. I would love to be able to say all of the studios, so I can be like, oh, they're doing this, that's going to be probably this style, or they're going to probably make it like this. But yeah, I would love to be able to go forward into the future with that kind of knowledge. I am looking for 2016 had a unique experience for me in the fact that I got to watch ReZero, and every time I saw ReZero, I would want to watch the next episode, and I would continue to watch it, and I would get excited, and I would get really fascinated, and I would love to see these characters. And ReZero was the first anime since Hunter x Hunter, the original one, like from the 1990s, that made me go, I can't wait to watch this. And it's very rare that I get those. And I mentioned Hunter x Hunter before because that was like the last one where, out of all the anime I'd seen, where I'm like, I can't wait to watch this. I'd just like get so excited, and I'd just watch it in big chunks, and then I'd go to work, and then I'd come home and I'd watch it again and again, and I'd just keep watching it. And I would listen to the music, and I would just like get so in depth into the world and be so excited. ReZero was that for me this year. I would love to have another one of those series in 2017 onwards. Going forward, I would love to find more and more of those kinds of anime where I can get so immersed. I would really enjoy that, and I would just like to ultimately become more knowledgeable with anime and manga as a medium. And I know I haven't been really talking about manga, and my official stance on subs versus dubs at the moment is because I grew up with dubs and because how difficult it was to attain anime, I'm completely fine with dubs as long as they are done in a at least half decent way. Like some of that early stuff I can still watch and have fun, but there are some horrible dubs out there. There are some also there are some equally horrible Japanese voices out there. I'm going to say right now that my stance on my favorite anime of all time, Dragon Ball, watch it dubbed And I'm gonna say that, obviously I did grow up and I have an emotional attachment to those voices, but Goku sounds more like a man in the English, and I know that's because he's voiced by a woman in the Japanese dub, and so are a lot of characters, but Goku feels more childlike in the Japanese dub as opposed to the English dub. In the English dub, it feels like he did grow as a character, and he's still fucking stupid, but he's an adult man. And he still has that charming naivete about him, but I feel it comes across better. And for a show about, oh, I'm a fucking ripped as shit dude, and I'm gonna fucking punch that dude as hard as I can in the face. It pays to be like more masculine in the vocal performances, which is one again. Oh, I really like Fist of the North Star for that kind of reason, and that's a great. You're a lard ass. Like, the Fist of the North Star movie in English is fine. I love that. It's corny. I prefer the Japanese version to that. But I like them both. Same with Dragon Ball. I like them both. I periodically watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z every year. Like, I watch it in either Japanese or English. I mean, I have nothing against it. But yeah, I would love to, going forward, have more great anime and enjoy more great anime. And as for the whole manga thing, as I said earlier in the review, I just view them in the same form of medium. I will go where the story is. If there's a deviation, I will check out the deviation, and then I'll come to the conclusion of which one I personally think is better. I'm not going to bullshit to you guys. If I think that, hey, the anime did it better, I'm going to tell you that. Once again, I've read all of the Dragon Ball manga. I think that the anime does it better. I think it pays to have some of those fights animated. I think it pays to be able to hear the music and the voices and add to the atmosphere. Anime, for me in general, is better than manga. That being said, there are some manga that way outshine the anime. I think that Blade of the Immortals art is some of the most captivating art that I've ever seen. And that's a manga. And I own the anime too. I love the anime, but that's only a small adaptation. The manga offers so much more in terms of story, and the panel work is great. It's very well placed, I felt. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just going to go where I find the most entertainment. So whether that's manga or anime, going forward into the future, I'll just go where the good stuff is. So anyway, getting more and more sleepy. I'll catch you guys later. That was my update for 2017, January 1st. We'll see how this goes from here. I'll check back after a while and see how it's going.